Seth Rollins retains, and it's because of his wife. Yes, that's an outcome I didn't really see coming either. Not so much the outcome of Seth Rollins retaining. I mean, it's kind of an outcome that all of us somewhat saw coming. It's more of how it was going to happen, and I think very clever. Now, what is this set up for in the future? That's, I think, even more important of a question, because I think a lot of people are looking to a tag team match. Who's in that tag team match? Well, you have one side of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, and then the other side, you have CM Punk and Nikki Bella? No? Oh, I got it. AJ Lee. Because this would be a perfect setup for that moving forward. And I think that is a matchup that is likely to happen for WrestlePalooza in just 3 weeks. That it could be a match, also headlined by Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. Of course, none of these matches are official. This is all speculative. But WWE is going to want to make WrestlePalooza as big as humanly possible, given it's the first PLE on the ESPN Plus platform. They're going to want to do it just like they wanted the Monday Night Raw, first Monday Night Raw on Netflix to be as big as possible, although that kind of felt like a very much a corporate show. So we will see what comes about, but this is seemingly the biggest argument or the biggest setup for a possible AJ Lee return since she left the company how many years ago. This seems like a finally a setup where AJ Lee would fit. I know Nikki Bella could fill that role, but if it's not AJ Lee, no, we're not going to be happy, right? So, what did I think of the actual main event? I thought the main event was awesome. I thought it delivered in a way that you expect these main events to deliver. And I think we've been spoiled now with how many good multi-man main events there have been since WrestleMania. WrestleMania Night 1, perfect example with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and CM Punk, who absolutely blew it out of the building and arguably had the best match of the entire PLE. Unfortunately, it was ruined by Night 2 with the disastrous Night 2 main event with Travis Scott, and we all know the story there. But since that time, WWE, in terms of its multi-man main events, have delivered in a huge way, and there was no exception here tonight. Each of the men had their spots where you thought they could have won. LA Knight, BFT, CM Punk, GTS. And then, of course, you had Jey Uso Splash, although he never really had a moment, I think, where you believed, oh my God, this could be it. And then, wham, Becky Lynch comes in. Great ending. I really thought that was good. It wasn't a matter of how Seth was going to retain, or rather, if he was, it was a matter of how, and it became his wife, which I really thought was good. And I think there'll be a temporary convergence of their storylines for the next 3 weeks through WrestlePalooza, maybe beyond, but probably in a short term. So that being said, what did I think about the rest of the matches? I'll kind of rapid fire here. I don't want to make this a long form audio. Rusev and Sheamus, I thought was a hell of a really semi-main event in my mind. Physical, just a pure wrestling match. Very nice pacing. They killed each other out there. It went about 20 minutes. The white noise through the tables off of the barrels, the back bump that Sheamus took into the bar stand or whatever it was, and he hit the back of his head on the frame of that. That was kind of scary, but a good bump. All the chops to the chest, the awesome near fall that Sheamus gave Rusev with the brogue kick that I believed was over, and I think many of us did, that was going to be the end of the match, because not many people kick out of the brogue kick. It's one of the few somewhat protected finishes, and I thought that would be one where Sheamus was going to win. And then the shillelagh to the back, that was another awesome near fall. Ultimately, Sheamus taps out for what Michael Cole said, the second time in his career. So hats off to both men. Moving on to the not so great Nikki Bella and Becky Lynch match. Now, let me just say this. Both women have overachieved on the mic in terms of what people expected from this match. Overachieved on the mic. They have great chemistry, and the build has been nice from a vocal standpoint. Now, you knew, if you've been watching wrestling for any length of time, that Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria, that went on for seemingly years, although it was only a couple months, was going to be better in ring than Nikki Bella and Becky Lynch. But still, I think Nikki and Becky did a great job of the build and the rest of it. But the match itself here, we all know, bit of a flop here with a couple of botches. And the botch number one that no one's really talking about is the bouncing of Becky Lynch's head off of the announce table. That was just egregiously bad. I know you're supposed to protect yourself, putting out your arms, but she did it in a way that, I mean, her head was like this far from the announce table. It didn't even look, like, even in pro wrestling context, any kind of believability there was just non-existent. So that was not a great spot. But obviously, the more talked about botch that everyone's going to be talking about for a while, that is just egregiously bad, is the kick off of the second rope that Nikki Bella did. I placed the majority of the blame on Nikki Bella, although not all of it, because Becky probably should have been in position, but Nikki Bella should have looked before Becky Lynch, or before she turned around to see if Becky was even there. So that, I mean, yes, I placed the majority of the blame on Nikki Bella, but the other part of this kind of has to go on Becky, only because she sold the move that was 5 feet out from her. I mean, it was, if you look, she sold it. Now, I know the muscle reflex is to sell it, but the announcers didn't try to save it, and they shouldn't, because it was just so bad. And Becky Lynch actually tried to sell it. And I'm shaking my head like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, that was a take me out of the moment type of moment. And I did not enjoy that. But outside of that, I actually thought it wasn't the worst match I've ever seen. I mean, they did a nice job. The finish was kind of wonky with the, kind of roll up or backslide type of victory for Becky. But the right person won. Nikki Bella should not win. And now it's a matter of moving on to for Becky Lynch, and we'll see what Nikki Bella does. So I did not think it was the worst match in the world, but the only thing, unfortunately, for both Becky and Nikki, more specifically, that people are going to be talking about is the incredibly horrible botch that they had in this match. Luckily, this was not a botch that actually endangered the lives of anybody or the health and safety of anybody, as sometimes botches can. So John Cena, Logan Paul, what can I say about this match? Yeah, it was long. I know I see a lot of people complaining about it was long. Yeah, so what? This match was John Cena at his best, Logan Paul at his best. These two played off each other very well. There was some missed opportunities and some uppercut misses that was not as egregious as the botch we saw earlier in the night. But honestly, no match is perfect, so I can't fault them for that. But Logan Paul continues to show why he is in the main event or semi-main event or working with main eventers or Hall of Famers every time he's out there, because he can make anyone look good. He seemingly is safe, most importantly, and he knows what he's doing. He looks like he's been doing this for 10 years, and he's been doing it for just a few. It is incredible what he's able to do. The respect around Logan Paul, while it's not given in the arena, is building underneath the surface. So when he eventually has that babyface turn, the respect is already there. We know what he can do, and he continues to show how awesome it is, his ability. And he made John Cena look good. John Cena hit his spots well. I don't enjoy the 1,400 AAs that are attempted every single time he's out there, and 3 kickouts of finishers every single time and all the rest of it. But still, for what it was worth, Logan Paul, even in a loss, this is a textbook example of winning in a loss. If you want to know how to actually still win in a loss, this is one of them, along with the Bronson Reed one that I'll talk about in a minute. So John Cena wins this matchup. Likely his next opponent is going to be Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza, although not confirmed. So moving on quickly to Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns. Hey, what can you say? This matchup was also, I think, very good. Nice pacing. Great way to open the show with Roman Reigns first out. Crowd went crazy. Bronson Reed, while he lost this match, that's not what people are going to be talking about. People are going to be talking about the aftermath. And so Roman gets the victory. Great. But what people are going to be talking about and what the follow-up is going to be is Braun Breaker attacking Roman Reigns. Yes, Paul Heyman got put in the guillotine. Braun Breaker comes out. Jey Uso tries to help. It doesn't work. Tsunami. Bring out the stretcher. Another tsunami. Roman Reigns is injured. Paul Heyman is injured. Braun Breaker was banned from the building, which you're thinking, okay, Seth's on his own. None of us thought of Becky Lynch, but credit to creative on that one. And so you're thinking Seth's on his own, but you have now a matchup with potentially Braun Breaker and Roman Reigns. Maybe that's where they're headed. Maybe that's a WrestlePalooza matchup if Roman Reigns wants to come back. Now, again, this injury angle, they didn't really need to write an injury angle because we all know that Roman Reigns just kind of goes away anyway. But this is going to be, again, it is a great example of winning at a loss, because Braun Breaker, yeah, he took the loss, but like no one's talking about that. They're all talking about the follow-up and how Roman Reigns is going to try to get revenge and all the rest of it. So, and I also really enjoyed that. And so I know that not many people are praising this PLE for being a great one. I thought I'd give it a B-. I thought it was I thought it was above average, but not by much. It was nice on some matches. Obviously, the Nikki Bella and Becky Lynch match is probably not going to be one we ever revisit again. outside of just making a meme out of the incredibly horrible botch they had and the selling of a move that was 10 feet away, all the rest of it. But outside of that, I think the booking decisions made sense. I think Becky Lynch's involvement was one that a lot of us are like, how did I not see that coming? Nice by creative. So overall, I enjoyed this. And the tag team match with the Wyatt Six and the Street Profits. Hey, quality tag team wrestling. Not the most important match on the card. It could have main evented a SmackDown, but it was one that I think you could have made a case for either team to win, and the Wyatt Six retain, and I hope they actually do something with them. Like character development. That'd be nice for once, huh? So there you go. There's my quick and dirty review. If you want a more in-depth review, head on over to the podcast, the WWE podcast, that it's available on every podcast app that you find. It's also available, which is, again, mainly on Apple. Patreon has an ad-free experience as well if you want more long-form audio as well. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll be talking very soon.